Commander Replay. Nikya of the Old Ways is looking for redemption. Find out if our all-creature deck can be redeemed. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, I'd like to take a quick second to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. You guys know, I do have a Twitter page now, so feel free to check me out on Twitter at Commander Replay. Welcome back everyone, playing some more Nikya of the Old Ways, 59 creatures. That's a one-lander, we're gonna mulligan that one. That's another one-lander, also gonna mulligan that one. If I knew that we could catch 2 lands off the top, no, even then it's probably, yeah. Oh man, 40 lands. So we play the Wood Elves, then what? Alright, we got 2 lands and a Duskwatch Recruiter, I guess we're keeping that. Walking Ballista to the bottom. I have not been able to catch any breaks with this deck. It's, either I run into the meat grinder of opponents, or I play terribly and squander everything. So, it's been one or the other for quite a while, and it's been not great. So there's a land. Lands are good. Play the Mosswar Bridge. All kinds of good stuff under there. Xenagos, Fertilid, and a Furnace Dragon. I'm thinking, how much do we care about artifacts? Tessa is probably going to be a heavy enchantment deck. That's going to be a lot of creatures. And Tuvasa is going to be an enchantment deck also. So I'm thinking Xenagos is probably the right one right there. If I saw a commander that was like really artifact-based, maybe like a Dreddy or something like that, then I might go for that Furnace Dragon. But since none of these commanders are really artifact-centric, I'm going with the Xenagos instead. Though they may still have good artifacts in their deck. We draw into Skarg the Rage Pits. Excellent. So let us go ahead and we'll lay down the Forest. Play the Duskwatch Recruiter. So as I mentioned, we're playing Nikya of the Old Ways. 3 red-green for a 5/5. You can't cast non-creature spells, so we're playing a deck entirely of creature spells. And whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produced. So double the mana, but for creatures only. And a Skurzdag High Priest coming down for the Tessa opponent. So taking a look at what our opponents are playing today, by the way. First up, we have Tessa Karlov, 2 white-black for a 2/4. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, and creature tokens you control have Vigilance and Lifelink. It's going to be some sort of aristocrats, sacrifice everything, try to make a bunch of tokens kind of deck. We played it on the channel a little bit as well. Tuvasa coming into play. That brings it back to our turn. Heartwood Storyteller coming down. Ooh, Heartwood Storyteller seems pretty good, actually. There's going to be a lot of enchantments flying around, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get that down right now. Oh, hey. Actually, our Duskwatch Critter flipped over into the Crawlin' Horde Howler, but we can get the Heartwood Storyteller down, and I'm sure I could have tapped my lands differently had I known that was coming. Oh, Trostani. Trostani is nasty. So Heartwood Storyteller down, and being that opponent's probably going to play a lot of enchantments, everyone else is going to be drawing a lot of cards. So there's going to be a cost to them trying to drop as many enchantments as humanly possible. Trostani's open right now. I guess we'll take a poke into them. They are known to gain a lot of life, which can be concerning. Hallowed Spirit Keeper coming in for the Tessa opponent. I had cut that one just before building my Tessa deck. Probably needs to come out. Probably fits better in place of a 6-drop, because I had a lot of 6-drops in that deck. Selesnya Guildmage coming in for the Trostani. Sure. Here comes an Oath of Jace, and everyone's going to get to draw off of the Storyteller. We draw into a Civic Wayfinder. Excellent. Opponent's going to get to draw 3 cards and discard 2 with the Oath of Jace. And I wonder if they're doing a Planeswalker thing if they're playing the Oaths. Or maybe they want the Looting Enchantment. I'm not sure. If they're playing an Oath, high likelihood that they are playing Planeswalkers is me, which means I'm probably going to start paying some attention to them. Tuvasa now a 2/2. Brings it back to our turn. We draw a Forest. Play the Skarg the Rage Pits. Cast our commander. I'm going to attack the Tuvasa opponent with both. So they go down to 33. And we have Nikya in play, so if we untap, we're going to have a lot of mana available to us next turn. If the Crowlin' Horde stays in the werewolf mode, we'll be able to cast like most of the things in our hand. Tessa coming into play. And opponent does have enough things, so we don't really want to attack into the Tessa right now, since they can start using the Skurzdag High Priest. Seems kind of bad. Opponent's going to play an Into the Wilds. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. Sweet. And that will trigger our Heartwood Storyteller one time. So everybody getting lots of card draw. There's a Mina and Den Wildborn. We have enough power on board for Xenagos. There's Herald of the Pantheon coming down. Oh, I think opponent's going to flip our Crowlin' Horde back over. Yep, here comes the Detention Sphere. Let's see what they go after. Heartwood Storyteller is going to trigger. We draw into Ronas. Yep, 2 spells. That's so frustrating. They get to draw. Detention Sphere coming down. Really curious to see where this goes. Goes after our commander. Figures. And they're going to put an Ethereal Armor on the Herald of the Pantheon. We get to draw with the Heartwood Storyteller again. There's a land, actually, so that's good. So that means we can play Mina and then Wildborn, get both lands into play, which I like. And then maybe follow that up with either Ronos or Civic Wayfinder. So Kralin Horde's going to flip back over. So sad. Nullstone Gargoyle. Oh, man. We don't have enough for that one yet, but be really excited when we do. So play the Arch. Play Mina and Den. Have only 8 power total. Nope, I guess that's not going to be enough. Well, I did want to get Mina and Den down. Get that extra land into play. Any attacking we can do this turn, it doesn't really look like there's anything that makes a lot of sense. Could have hit Trostani for 2, but Here comes an Endrixar. Seems pretty good. The Tessa deck. No attacks from Tessa. If I were Tessa, I may have tried the Hollowed Spirit Keeper just to see if someone blocks. If they don't block, you get a little damage in on them. If they do block, you get tons and tons of tokens. Here comes Trostani into play. Yep, that's a pretty good one. Trostani is a deck that has given me trouble over the years. Its ability to just have a lot of creatures and gain a lot of life is really problematic. So Colony Garden coming down for the opponent, and their plant token gains them some life for the Trostani. Opponent's going to get the Scry with their Oath of Jace. Somehow they discarded a mana drain. They discard that to the Jace? Huh. I wouldn't have discarded the mana drain. Opponent's going to send everything at us. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess we just take. See if a board wipe's coming. It's a really suspicious attack because, I mean, we could throw our Mina and Den into the Tuvasa unless they have something that they were holding up. Yep, there's an austere command, so that makes a lot of sense. Kind of saw that one coming. We will get to draw with the Heartwood Storyteller. It's a Balefire Dragon. That's what I'm talking about. So all the creatures getting blown up. Somehow we missed lands and all those. We missed lands in that turn cycle right there, which is a little bit annoying. 6. We have 6 mana. Which means I could play the Civic Wayfinder, make a land drop. That would leave us with 4 left over. We could have the Nylea. I think it's going to be Uvenwald Hydra right here. Just an all-around good card. Which land to grab is the question. The Hollow, pretty good for Regenerate. Get like Blighted Woodland if we think we need extra lands, which isn't out of the question. Scavenger Grounds is not the worst with a Tessa deck floating around. Kessig Wolfrun is pretty sweet. It's going to be a lot of tokens, so Kessig Wolfrun might be the way to go. We have that Xenagos under our Mosswart Bridge, so that also means either like Kessig... Yeah, I think I like Kessig Wolfrun for that. So let's get the Kessig Wolfrun. Yep, there's an Ashnod's Altar. Love to get rid of that. We're going to send all the tokens into Trostani. Sure. Trostani down to 32. I'm sacrificing some spirits for some mana. Into a Karmic Guide. Going to bring back the Hollowed Spirit Keeper. Sure. Kind of hoping to catch a land off the top right here. Really want to make our next land drop without having to play the Civic Wayfinder. Trostani coming back to play. And some Lightning Greaves. Scry trigger for the Tuvasa opponent. So even at 40 lands, I'm still missing land drops earlier than I want to be in this deck, which is super frustrating. Ajani's Chosen coming into play. Sure. And Estrid's Invocation enters the battlefield as a copy of any enchantment you control. It's going to be another Detention Sphere. Let's see what it goes after. Honestly, going after the tokens, honestly, I'd probably go after Ashnod's Altar. Yep, opponent just sacks token in response. That was the wrong move. So, yep, opponent not playing that correctly. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile this enchantment if you do return it to the battlefield. Okay, so it can keep coming in and out, so they can try it again next turn if they want to. There's a Manglehorn, so I think we're on the Mangle. Ooh, man. Really want to get our commander in. Our commander is going to cost 7. Yeah, crap. Well, going to be taking a turn off for the Manglehorn. Let's see if I can make this turn reasonable at the very least. Really wanted to get our commander back, but shutting down the Ashnod's Altar, turning off Mana Rocks, pretty good idea. So play the Manglehorn, shoot the Ashnod's Altar, use the ability. Play the Civic Wayfinder. We need to get a forest right here. We now have City's Blessing. Get a forest. Play the forest. Use the Mosswort Bridge. Cast Xenagos. Who are we putting Xenagos on? Because we can't trample this turn, I'm probably actually just going to stay put with the Hydra. And yeah, we'll put it on the Wayfinder. Send it into the Tuvasa. If they want to give up Ajani's Chosen, I'm fine with that. Yeah, they just jump block with the cat. Also fine. Tessa coming back to play. Opponent loses their Karmic Guide. Tokens going into the Trostani opponent. Sure. If we draw our 9th land, we probably go for the Nullstone Gargoyle right here. If not, I got to figure out what we're doing. Sadly, Tessa left 1 mana open, which could be a Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile, which means we probably don't want to be trying to Alpha Strike into them. Felidar Sovereign coming down for the Trostani. Ugh. In all likelihood, might swing into them unless someone else does something that Changes the board state. Who knows what way they may have to... Yeah, they're only 5 life away from that Faladar Sovereign. Who knows what they can do at instant speed. Don't know that there's a ton of things, but there's probably a few that I'm not aware of, so don't really want to take that chance. Actually, one thing we could do too. We could play Balefire Dragon, and it'll get haste from Xenagos, and we could give it trample with either the Rage Pits or Kessig Wolfram, assuming we have enough mana, which we probably don't. Yeah, we take 10 mana to do that. We do not have 10 mana currently. So far, Nikya has been just a lightning rod for removal in the games that I've played it. People are like, oh, you have double mana? Yep, yeah, getting rid of that. Enchantress Presence coming down. Yep, that's a good one. Trostani sadly leaving some mana open. Could be a Fog. Fog would be bad. Ancestral Mask on the Johnny's Chosen. That's probably going to make it pretty big. It's a 13/13. Gross. And they get another cat. Also leaving up 1 white mana. Oh, man. Everyone leaving just enough mana to be scary. Open. Nice. Opponent going to send the Johnny's Chosen into the Trostani opponent. We'll see what Trostani's got. Oh, they're going to block with the Faladar Sovereign. All right. Okay. So that takes my focus off of Trostani a little bit, since we know that they're probably not just going to win. Yeah, they won't be able to just like win the game off of a Faladar trigger right there, which is good. Sylvan Ranger, that gets us into another land. We may want to think about that. We have 8 mana currently. That could be exactly enough for Magmatic Force. We don't have enough red, though. Crap. Ooh, we only have a single red? Eesh. You know what I think that means, then? I think that means play Sylvan Ranger. Yeah, play Sylvan Ranger, get our commander back. I think we're going to kind of take it easy again for this turn. Use the Sylvan Ranger, get a mountain, play the mountain, cast our commander. What I like about our current position is that Xenagos is indestructible, and we can follow it up with Nylea, some other things to keep all that rolling. Man, I really want to do some attacking, though. How many... just the tokens are flying. There's so many tokens on board. Yeah, there's so many tokens on board that... Let's put it on the Uvenwald and just swing into Trostani. If they want to block with Trostani, I'm okay with that. If they want to take the damage, I'm also okay with that. We can block ground stuff pretty good right now. So if we untap with all the stuff we have in play, we can really do a lot next turn. Nullstone Gargoyle is sweet because that's going to get rid of a lot of board wipes and things. Or at least opponents will have to play around it. That's tough to do. Opponents don't have tons and tons of lands in play. Yep, there's a Fog. All right, so I feel pretty good about getting rid of that Fog, honestly. Opponent's going to send the Flyers... Nope, changing their mind. Looks like they're going to go after the Tuvasa. I'm okay with that. Ooh, Tessa leaves all her mana open? What could that be? White Sun Zenith, maybe? Secure the Waste? Something like that? I bet if we play the Nullstone Gargoyle, we find out. Johnny Unyielding coming into play. That's a pretty good one. Don't like that Swords to Plowshares mode. Not one bit. Opponent going to go with the plus mode on a Johnny. Cool. They reveal an Oath of a Johnny. Ooh, a Solemnity. Solemnity, scary. What white-green combos are there with Solemnity? Interesting. What's the one they use in that Storm deck in Modern? Oh, Tessa scoops the game. Not really sure what that's about. They did not send a message. Estrid's Invocation is going to blink one time. Copies the Enchantress Presence. I'm alright with that. Opponent's just trying to get a lot of card draw. Attention Sphere is kind of scary, honestly. Although I guess when they blink the Attention Sphere, it just comes back. Yeah. Eidolon Blossom, so opponent's going to be doing a lot of card drawing. Probably going to try to look to do some sort of big alpha strikey thing against this Tuvasa opponent. Johnny's Chosen, pretty big at a 15-15. Johnny's Chosen going into the Johnny Unyielding. That's a flavor fail. No blocks. Johnny Unyielding goes down. And that's going to bring it back to our turn. We draw a Sakura Tribelder. So we're going to try this Nullstone Gargoyle right here and see what happens. Trying to be careful how I use my mana. See if opponents want to react to this Nullstone Gargoyle. Nope. So we could Kessig Wolfram on something. We could Nylea, which gives all of our creatures trample. Nylea seems probably pretty good. Or we could Balefire Dragon and wipe out most of what Tuvasa has going on. So we have 9 mana left. Or we could just also be super annoying with Magmatic Force. I like what Nylea means. We'll go for the Tribelder. And then the Ronas. Go to combat. Kind of want to make the Ronas huge, because the Trample Death Touch is pretty sweet. Do some attacking. I'm going to go into the Tuvasa. Opponent has so many tokens, actually, that, like, sending in Uvenwald Hydra is a little scary. So I guess we'll send that into the Trostani, as well as the Nikya. Hope there's not another Fog. Though they're sitting on 3 mana, so there very well could be. Opponent going to do some blocking. Trying to put a lot of tokens in front of the Ronas. We'll actually soak up half of its damage, so that's cool for our opponent. Actually, no, those are 2/2s, so that'll soak up a pretty good amount of damage. Actually soaks up all the Ronas damage. I think they forgot that Ronas is indestructible, though, would be my guess. Opponent's down to 19. Trostani opponent is down to 25. Rishkar's expertise for the Trostani. That's going to get countered. See if that was a ploy all along to get to the 5-mana spell. Hopefully it's not a Fumigate. Nope, looks like a misplay. Got him. Opponent's going to crack it. Tuvasa opponent's going to crack a Myriad Landscape. And Trostani Shame Scoops it. All right, so looks like we got a little 1 versus 1 action going. Detention Sphere is going to blink. It's going to trigger all the enchantment effects. Can a Detention Sphere on the Nullstone Gargoyle? Sure. Nullstone Gargoyle. It's a funny card. Eternal Witness coming into play. Ooh, boy. What are they going for? Going for the Austere Command. Gross. Here comes the Austere Command. They're going for all creatures. So, sack our Sakura Tribe Elder. Get a mountain. We're still going to have Ronas, Xenagos, and Nylea, though. So, that's a pretty good place to be. There's a forest. Play the forest. I think it's Magmatic Force time. Magmatic Force will be a real pain for them to deal with. Or actually, can we just Xenagos? Oh, they still got that 1 mana open. Ah, that 1 mana. Well, I guess we're going for the Magmatic Force. If opponent wants to... That'll shut off both of our utility lands right there, but... If opponent wants to shoot the Magmatic Force, then and Ronas sticks around, completely fine with that. Actually, we can activate Ronas 1 time, so that's cool. Oh, that animates Xenagos too. So, put the Xenagos trigger on the Magmatic Force. Use Ronas to pump the Magmatic Force. Magmatic Force is huge. Swing with everything. And no blocks from opponent, so apparently I didn't have anything. Nice. Oh, man, so it's taken me, I don't know, a good 5 or 6 games to get to this point. I did smooth out the deck a little bit. Things like Civic Wayfinder, more lands. It seems to be operating okay, but there's still just like, it still feels not great when you just like, you need a removal spell and you don't really have anything. I did add Caldera Hellion as a pseudo board wipe, at least to get rid of some of the early stuff in play, and hasn't come up yet, but you know, as far as creature-based board wipes go, I mean, it's something. It exists, so there's that. Some of the other ones, like what's the Bloodfire Colossus is a cool card, but is really expensive and kind of comes down too late to be super effective, I think. But yeah, the 59 creature deck, it's a work in progress. It is definitely skewed more towards the casual side. When the only thing you're doing is slamming a creature every single turn, your plays become very predictable. It's very easy for opponents to interact with you, and you don't have necessarily a lot of great ways to interact with them. So they can kind of just do their own thing other than just taking a lot of damage. So hopefully you can kill them quickly. But if you don't, then they're probably going to do their thing. And their thing, depending on what they're doing, their thing may just kill you and not even care about combat damage, things like that. So, yeah, this deck, it's been an interesting ride with this deck. I would not recommend building it this way. If you're going to build it, have things like Cultivate, have some board wipes in there. You know, obviously have your big creatures at the top end to act as a nice payoff for Nikya. So yeah, I don't recommend the creature-only build of Nikya, but it's certainly fun to mess around with. And if you're trying to build on a budget, it's probably something you could actually do. This isn't a budget build itself, but this is probably actually something you could do relatively cheaply. Since a lot of these, for the most part, a lot of these early mana rampy kind of creatures are pretty cheap. And then it's basically, I mean, spend a few dollars on Xenagos. Xenagos has been awesome. Spend a few dollars. I'd probably spend a few dollars on Oracle of Moldiah is another place that I would spend some money. And other than that, you can kind of fill the top end of this deck with really anything you want. Garruk's Horde, nice and cheap. I don't think the Familiar costs very much. Null Spy Dragon was about $5 to $6 last time I looked. Beltfire, did that get reprinted? It was expensive for a while, and then I think it got reprinted. If it did, it's probably come down. If it didn't, it's probably still kind of pricey. But Hamletback Goliath is pretty cheap, as I remember. So the Scourge is super cheap. Magmatic Force is cheap. So you get the idea that once you get the ramp section of the deck built out, you can basically just put in any big red-green creature at the top, and it should be fairly successful. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.